Hello honeys! I've collected all 54 exclusive magical toy coords featuring the mobile game Aikatsu Photo on stage, and I put them all together for you. Enjoy! 54 Toy Valentine. Toy Valentine feels like it's from a different reality. Between the thick candy speckled chocolate ooze and the bright green and yellow palette, there's nothing appetizing about this concept. The shapes in the silhouette are fine, but Key doesn't deserve this. 53 Magical Unicycle. Although it's much better, Magical Unicycle feels a bit out of place. This 80s aesthetic would be more at home in a Vivid Kiss design. The unicycle is fun and the pieces are all pretty creative, but we have to maintain some brand integrity, especially since the pop brands blend together so much already. 52 Unicorn Volare. Unicorn Volare is the evolved version of Unicorn Sagittarius, and to its credit, I like the changes to the boots and top. The skirt remains a problem though. I'm not a fan of the repetitive rainbow stripes or the strange feather texture. In fact, the feather texture was my least favorite element, and now there's even more of it. 51 Glorious Time. Don't get mad, Glorious Time is gorgeous, but let's think about whether this is actually on theme or not. There are some carnival-esque motifs in the ringleader color palette and flared skirt, but it's way too preppy for this list. Go be beautiful somewhere else. 50 Clown Chocolate. Clown Chocolate isn't much better on that front, and it's definitely less appealing, but it commits to the nostalgic toy-like color palette and playful elements like the ruffle collar, so it has to be higher up. The brown, yellow, and pink palette is actually working here too. 49 Snappy Juggling. I had the worst time finding Snappy Juggling's full body art, and it has to be because I wasn't meant to see those lime green boots. All for what, to match the green collar? I think the main pieces are okay here. Aside from the solid yellow hip patches, there are just a few color crimes to answer for. 48 Pop Tamer. Same goes for Pop Tamer. I feel unwell looking at it, like someone took a perfectly good design and then did unspeakably evil things to it in the color blocking stage. There's a great base here in the layered textures, but were the rumpled brown boots and lime green accents necessary? 47 New Year's Toy Box. I can at least understand New Year's Toy Box. It's a clown yukata, that's clear. But the flat polka dots in the sleeves are infuriating for some reason. So is the tight pleating in the tutu peplum. My brain is having an allergic reaction to it even though it's objectively fine. 46 Popping Quilted Tree. That distant, irritated feeling continues for Popping Quilted Tree. It has to be partly the color palette. The secondary colors make me feel uneasy than other combinations, but the mixed textures are also too chaotic for me. I recognize the novelty of the ball pit style quilting in the top, but it kind of creeps me out too. 45 Colorful Milk Cup. Again, Colorful Milk Cup is objectively interesting for the exaggerated cup concept and dynamic splashing look. I'd argue that it didn't have to be milk, I don't love that visually, but the overall silhouette is nice. It's the high contrast color palette that I struggle to appreciate, especially in the boots. The red, green, and yellow are all super intense together. 44 Valentine Circus. Valentine Circus is more comfortable to look at for me, but it's the patterns that ruin it this time. The high energy trap between the plaid, solid trim, and vertical stripes in the skirt is maddening. It looks like it's about to explode with so much visual noise boiling under the surface. 43 Ribbon and Wrap. Ribbon and Wrap feels safer. Still noisy, but the solid paper-like sections on the top and skirt help balance it out. I like the big flower-shaped ribbon in the hair, and the asymmetrical gloves and boots are cool. But I can't shake that uneasy feeling that the tight pleating and angular lines give me. There's a sharpness to them that unsettles me. 42 Toy Photographer. The better the coords get, the more uneasy I feel about their quirks. In Toy Photographer, for example, the scrunched skirt feels tense, and the corkscrew leg jewelry feels sinister. There's a balance being kept between structure and playfulness here that is pretty at first glance, and then kind of strange on a closer look. 41 Magical Heart. There has to be something psychological going on here because I do feel a little scared of Magical Heart. Great silhouette, lovely asymmetry, but I'm getting stressed out trying to analyze the bold colors and patterns, and that tight pleated texture is still here. It feels wrong, but not on a technical level at least. 40 Beach Ball Summer. Beach Ball Summer is a relief. There's not much to it, so it can't go much higher, but I like the white base color and slightly cooler colors, as well as the playful details in the collar, leg cup, and beach ball belt. It's giving sprinkles from Blue's Clues. 39 Toy Circus. Toy Circus is back to scaring me, but the circus tent is objectively cool. The left stripes look like they have a coloring error, but that's fine. I'd rather they didn't mix the green accents in there. The pink and purple are distracting enough, but there are enough interesting shapes here for me to mostly like this one. 38 Circus Manager. I swear Circus Manager should be right up my alley. White base color, limited palette, fluffy trim, that's all great. But what is happening with those boots? The stripes on the toes make them look almost like paws, which would be fine if it was intentional, I guess. Maybe the stripes in the vest are also throwing me off. 37 Chocolate Valentine. Chocolate Valentine is probably great if you think dessert aesthetics are cute. The chocolate bar skirt is very novel, and I think it achieves its desired look. I don't personally like it, it's very repetitive, but that texture isn't an inherent flaw. The green, blue, and yellow dots in the skirt trim are, but that's just nitpicking. 36 Zip Pop. Zip Pop is finally getting us into an interesting corner of the magical toy aesthetic, steampunk. It's not an obvious match to the carnival theme, but the time periods of the references are compatible. Even with my bias against lime green, I like this design. It feels active and playful, perfect for magical toy. 35 Colorful Toy Soldier. Although it has that dreadful tight pleating in the skirt, I think the tutu shape mixed with the bike short look is pretty unique. Even with so much structure, the bright colors bring in enough playfulness to sell the toy soldier concept. I like the little drum accessory too. The black is a little mature, but not distracting. 34 Blue Mane Humpty. First of all, Blue Mane Humpty is a Humpty Dumpty reference, so the egg theme is the priority here. I accept the rounded pumpkin shorts for that goal, and the sunny yellows work for it too. I'm not as sold on the green, go figure, but this is a fun design overall. 33 Dr. Funny Rabbit. I'm having a hard time understanding the logic behind the fluffy green bloomers in Dr. Funny Rabbit. Were they necessary? I'd say no, but here we are. I love these speckled sky blue pieces, very Eastery, and the dynamic shapes on the top. It really falls apart from the skirt down though. 32 Stella Witch. I debated putting Stella Witch this high since it's so simple, but I thought that its lime green offenses were minor, so I gave it a pass. At least they work with this palette. The layering of the top is a little creative, and so is the cord wrapped witch hat. The textures are just reading as a bit flat with so many solid sections. 31 Musical Teddy. Musical Teddy is another one that I can't quite see clearly. Every time I try to focus on the skirt, it's like my eye gets flung out by the stripes and ruffles. I love the idea of a teddy bear concept, that's adorable, and I like the color palette here. The patterns are all okay too, but the segmentation of their blocking from top to skirt layers rips the visual flow apart pretty viciously. 30 Magical Prints. In theory, I also love magical prints. In practice, something about mixing stripes, diamond check, and square check makes me not want to look at it. I really like all the shapes in these pieces, the jacket cape is cool, and I don't mind the colors, but the visual flow is a serious problem with so many conflicting directions to move in. 29 Magical Cheer. Magical Cheer's colors and patterns are great, I don't have any complaints. I still struggle to look at it though, and that's down to the angular shapes in the ruffles. The patterns are noisy enough, but from the ruffles to the pom-poms and even Sora's hair, it's very hard to keep track of what's what in this design. 28 Love Clown. Love Clown is elaborate and has a lot of thought put into its color and pattern balancing. I have issues with the structure of the skirt, the layering isn't working for me, but overall I can appreciate the ideas here, and the tricycle prop. It's not the most appealing design to me, but objectively I think it's more interesting than ugly. 27 Orange Mane Dumpty. Orange Mane Dumpty is the other Humpty Dumpty design, and I like the orange version better. It's still a loud design on purpose, but well balanced at least. I don't even have a problem with the green belt. And the stripes are all vertical, so I'm fine on the visual flow front too. 26. Drawing March. Drawing March is the first design that I like. Unsurprisingly, it has a clean white base color and a mostly cool tone palette. I love the pencil design on the coattails as well as the doodle patterns in the socks. It feels just a little too elegant for the brand. I'm getting more jewelry vibes than plastic toys, but it's pretty. 25. Prop Pilot. Prop Pilot is a lot noisier, just barely too much for me, but I think its complexity deserves credit. There is a ton going on in the layering, the steampunk concept, and the color blocking. It all comes together well enough that the more rustic motifs don't look out of place, but geez, that's a lot of texture to look at. 24. Dr. Toy Mania. It's a similar case for Dr. Toy Mania. It's even more successful at bringing in the toy concept, and the rocket belt is absolutely adorable. It's very noisy though, and it's mostly the color palette that's boosting it for me. Layering an apron over the pumpkin shorts is novel too. It turns it into a different shape than we're used to in Aikatsu. 23. Amazing Ghost. I have no major complaints for Amazing Ghosts after the horrors we've seen so far. It's not perfect, but it's fun and on theme and I like the colors. I did just notice these sharp coattails under that skirt, which I don't particularly like, but focus on the ghost hair accessories and it'll all go away. 22. Fire Magic. I put Fire Magic up here for its sheer audacity. Curl toe rollerblade boots and a feather motif for Fire Magic? The main body of the dress makes sense to me. I have no idea why we're doing feather accents. Not real feathers either, just the shape in solid white with rollerblade boots. 21. Popping Quintet. Popping Quintet feels normal. It's part of a Dream Academy set and is just barely passing as branded, but it's more normal than what we've seen so far. Cute even. I like the stripes in the boots, not the toe stripes though, and the pom-pom hair accessories are adorable. The colors are great too. Good job, green. 20. Theater Night. I'm finally feeling less threatened by the experimentation going on in Theater Night. It's exaggerated and quirky and colorful, and I'm not afraid of it. The 3D glasses eye mask is very cute, and even though it's noisy, the film strip pajama set adds a nice dynamic element. I also love the oversized jacket robe and fluffy socks. 19. Stella Gentile. The clean lines in Stella Gentile are a nice change of pace. Still colorful, still maintaining a lot of asymmetry and mixed patterns, but also with a clear visual flow. The cloud print lining of the skirt is the perfect whimsical detail, and the layering in the top is working really well. It's just the tiniest bit nautical too, just for me. 18. Candy Snow. We saw Candy Snow in my Christmas Coord ranking and I forgot where I put it then, but I'm feeling pretty good about it now. It has all the chaotic, playful elements that we've come to expect, but the limited palette pulls them together. The snowflake layer in the skirt is a good graphic element. Bonus points for the Eureka and Mitsuki cookies. 17. Magic Pop Cheer. Magic Pop Cheer is also reading more clearly to me than Magical Cheer did. The mixed patterns are all there, but the ruffles are more organic, so it's clear to see where the graphic patterns end and new layers begin. It's still not my favorite aesthetic, but nothing looks distracting or out of place about it. 16. Stitch Fox. I gave Stitch Fox a lot of points for having a real fox, because I love animals. Following through on the concept with a plush tail and tiny ears on the hat makes this a very fun design. I like the oversized shorts, they flow nicely into the equally exaggerated coattails, and the asymmetry is a strong point as always in Magical Toy. 15. Rail Journey. We get more steampunk with Rail Journey, which highlights the compatibility between the style and the toy theme. Toy trains and train conductors are already such a recognizable part of childhood, and they take that to a cute extreme here. I'm okay with the brown accents too, they managed to balance it well in the palette. 14. Fine Magician. Fine Magician has done lime green well. It's paired with teal to reduce the contrast, which complements the magenta and navy in the palette. The asymmetry in these trousers is nice, and the solid white sections help balance out all the patterns. It's a pretty basic magician silhouette, but the intricate details make it feel unique. 13. Retro Brown Bear. I enjoy the teddy bear theme of Retro Brown Bear, and overall this is a pretty cute design. I'm not completely sold on the tan color they're using, but is probably the best option for the concept. The jacket does make this preppier silhouette feel more active, so it's a nice addition. 12. Brink Inventor. Brink Inventor is another successful steampunk addition to the brand. The metallic skirt is a great way to bring in some texture variation, and all the tiny details feel balanced rather than noisy. The yellow undershirt is a necessary resting point for the eye, which lets cute ideas like the robot pouch at the waist shine. 11. Chocolate Pop Riddle. It's nice to get a more monochromatic look every once in a while, so I like Chocolate Pop Riddle. This is a great place to use chunky shapes like the tied-off skirt draping, graphic question mark applique, and pageboy hat. The camera bag is pretty cute too. 10. Chocolate Pop Maze. Chocolate Pop Maze is the same design in a cooler palette, so I find it a bit easier on the eyes. Its color blocking is different, which changes the visual flow too. This version makes a clearer divide between the top and skirt, with emphasis on the visual rhythm between the scalloped purple trim. 9. Merry Holiday. Merry Holiday is here for having a really unique silhouette. It's a bottom-heavy design, which is supported by the pose they're using. I like that the pumpkin shorts are getting a unique shape from the tapered cardigan layered over them. It flows well into the equally chunky slippers and socks. 8. Heartful Clown. I couldn't resist putting Heartful Clown this high up, even though it's probably a little off theme. It's clown themed at least. Admittedly, I love the elegant red and navy palette and the subtlety in the mixed patterns they chose. The quilted texture is probably too elegant, but it's pretty. There are still a lot of typical Magical Toy motifs in there too. 7. Castle Carnival. Castle Carnival is more on theme for sure. I really like it. I think it manages to be bright and fun without being an eyesore. It doesn't have much asymmetry, but it feels clean and the toned down patterns fit together well. My only minor critique is the lacing in the front of the skirt. It's a bit too isolated there. 6. Midnight TV Show. I'm not 100% sold on the top-down angle of this pose, but Midnight TV Show has a super unique silhouette. It flattens out in the front because we're not seeing it taper and flare at the bottom like it does in the back, but the shape seems very dynamic. I love the ruffled collar and the pom-pom toe slippers and the pillow ribbons. 5. Colorful Cubic. We get another interesting silhouette with Colorful Cubic. It's not a look that works in every brand, but with the emphasis on exaggerated colors and shapes, I think the oversized shorts work very well. You can see the clown influence in the proportions of the pieces, even though it's styled as a more casual outfit. Super smart. 4. Happy Merry-Go-Round. I put Happy Merry-Go-Round up here primarily for the balloon belt. It's not placed well, and the overall design is a bit simple. But I saw the carousel motifs and that belt, and I was sold instantly. I wish we could have had more direct circus references like balloon animals and carnival rides. This is a great start. 3. Wonder Magician. It's not super circusy, but Wonder Magician is undeniably well executed. The typical magician silhouette is back, but the mix of patterns and colors feels way more cohesive than we've seen so far. This is the first design that feels like it retains its theming while also going for a slightly more mature aesthetic. I really like how elevated it feels. 2. Merry Funny Crown. Merry Funny Crown feels more grounded in the typical Magical Toy style. It's still reading as more elegant than usual, but it's also leaning into graphic patterns and asymmetry. It's noisy in a purposeful way, but uses color blocking to make those patterns more cohesive. I find it quite beautiful for all of its chaos. 1. Twilight Manager. Twilight Manager wins the circusy over-the-top carnival attraction award. I love the carousel concept and its integration into the skirt. The pony stick toy is a great addition, full of whimsy, and the color palette is very appealing to me. I even think the sheer layer draped at the back of the skirt is fine despite being a bit floppy. Gorgeous! Let me know your favorite Magical Toy Photokatsu cord in the comments below, and look out for my side character ranking in a few weeks. Bye bye!